Northwest Comic Show. What? The Northwest Comic Show. The greatest thing ever.
Hey, it's Casey Okupi with the Northwest Comic Show, and it's a show about pop culture, like things you'd see at a comic book convention, also music, movies, and today, some comedy too. We're going to have Darin Thompson here. He's a spectacular comedian. So let's give it up for Darin Thompson.
Did you say spectacular? Man, thank you. No, that's a great word. I love it. A lot of people ask me, they say, Darin, how come you don't swear when you do your stand-up comedy? It's not that I really have anything against swearing. It's just that if I ever swore growing up, my grandmother would grab me by the ear, drag me to the bathroom, take a bar of soap, and then for the next 2 hours, she'd make me give her a sponge bath. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't raised how other kids were raised, really. Yeah, I was raised a little different. Let's just put it that way. Growing up, I was a confused kid. I always dreamed about being a fireman. But then one day I found out that firemen put out fires. I guess what I really wanted to be was an arsonist. Yeah. So I was a happy kid growing up. I loved school. At least I loved recess. I grew up in the 80s. Recess was a little bit different back then because we actually had playground equipment. We had, what did we have? We had teeter-totters or tailbone traumatizers. We had slides that were like 15 feet tall, and there wasn't soft bark chips under these slides. It was asphalt because back then they didn't care about kids' safety. There's no seatbelt laws or anything like that. Everything that kids played on, they put asphalt underneath them. That's just how it was, and we liked it. So at the school I went to, we actually had a merry-go-round, and we'd cram as many kids as we possibly could on that merry-go-round, and we'd spin it round and round as fast as we could. And there was no such thing as childhood obesity back then because all of us kids threw up at every recess. Yeah. I remember one year the DARE program came to our school. Anybody remember that program? Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm in the 3rd grade. I've never heard about drugs. I don't even know what drugs are. And here's a group of really cool people coming to our school and teaching us all about them. Teaching me about pills that I can take to make me feel like I'm floating and flying. I'm like, you mean like Superman? Whoa. Teaching me about pills I could take that would make me be able to take trips or trip out. And I love vacation, so I'm like, yes. And they're telling me about, this is the one that really got me, though. They told me about pills that I could take that would make me a better athlete than all my other friends. I was like, yeah. At the end, they're like, does anybody have any questions? I'm like, how much? Like, what? Did you hear anything we just said? I'm like, yes, how much for the drugs? They're like, oh, you mean how much do drugs cost on the streets? I was like, oh, is that where you buy them? Thank you. And then they told me how much drugs cost, and that's when I learned what DARE really stood for, and that is drugs are expensive. So, no, I learned a lot in school. One thing I learned in school is that I'm not very tough. Apparently, I cry when I fall on asphalt. Yeah. No, I'm not. I wasn't tough as a kid at all. Let's just put it this way. When I was a kid, I collected Care Bears. I collected them all. I had Tender Heart Bear, Brave Bear, Wish Bear, Cheer Bear. Oh, yeah. I wasn't very tough as a kid. Let's just put it that way. My dad comes from the John Wayne era. He's tough. My dad's like a black belt in karate, a black belt in judo. He was on the U.S. judo team. I don't think he was very excited about his Care Bear collecting kid. No. One day he comes up to me. He's like, Darin, you're going to start wrestling. I'm like, what? You notice he didn't ask me. He just told me because John Wayne doesn't ask. No. So all of a sudden, my dad's driving me around every weekend on the to tournaments all over the place. I don't know anything about wrestling. I learned real quickly that wrestling is hard. It's exhausting. It's painful, and it's no fun. But by the 3rd match, I finally figured it out. finally figured wrestling out. The quicker you get to your back and lay perfectly still, the faster it's over. And I was getting good. I mean, I was getting down to like 4 seconds. And you wouldn't believe how happy this makes the kid you're wrestling. He's like jumping up and down for joy. His parents run out of the stands and they're like scooping their kid up. They're like, I love you, son. 4-second pin, family record. And I'm watching all this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I am making everybody so happy. I am just like Cheer Bear. Everybody's just so happy because of me, except for my dad for some reason. The problem is my dad didn't get it. I didn't have the Hulk Hogan mentality. I had the tender heart bear mentality. I didn't have the eye of the tiger. I had the Care Bear stare. Yeah. And even though I lost every match, I would always go home with a 4th place trophy. Why? Yeah, there's only 4 kids. Only 4 kids light enough to wrestle in the 49-pound weight division. You've heard of lightweight and featherweight. About 5 weight divisions under that is the malnourished weight division. That was the one that I was in. Yeah. But I loved those trophies. I'd take them to school. I'd show my friends. They're like, wow, you must be good. And I'm like, yeah, 4-second pin. They're like, wow, you must be awesome. I'm like, yeah, I am. They're like, you must be pretty tough. I'm like, you can say that again. I'd start walking away, and there's like Care Bears falling out of my backpack. I'm trying to push them back in. It's like, huh. Yeah. No, I loved school. I did. I liked school. You guys remember the school bus, riding the school bus? Anybody here? Yeah. Do you remember your school bus driver? Yeah, like the worst job on the planet, the most stressful job ever. School bus drivers, they're like in their 20s. They look like they're in their 60s. That's how stressful the job is. The veins in their neck like bulging out all the time from yelling at kids every day. No, that's a job you wouldn't wish on anybody. And yet every time I turn on the news, there's another report about a school bus getting hit by a train. And everybody says, how can this happen? Well, I'll tell you how it happens. I think the school bus driver pulls up to the railroad tracks, opens up the little door, and he looks out and he sees that train coming. And he says to himself, I think I'm done now. Then he turns back in his seat and says, Johnny, I really am telling you for the last time, sit down in your seat. And the wheels on the bus go round and round. Thanks. You guys have been a fun audience. My name's Darin Thompson.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Darin. Now we're going to cut to some interviews at a Comic-Con, and then we'll be right back with Darin for an interview. Hey, the Northwest Comic Show had a chance to go to Wizard World. Thank you, Wizard World. And we have some clips and things we're going to show you right now. Hey, it's Casey with the Northwest Comic Show, and what I'm about to participate in is I'm going to take some new technology, and I get to actually play a video game with my eyeballs. So get ready to check this out. So this computer is being ran without hands right now.
You're in good hands right now. No, sweet.
That's right. I'm blowing up asteroids with my eyes. And there's very few things so satisfying.
Do you have to wink or something to actually detonate them?
Nope. It's just time. So every game has a little bit of a different way to play. All right.
Cool.
How much do you want to play this now? Kind of a lot?
It's strange. Like, I've never been involved in such an endeavor as to be part of a new technology thing that I could use only my eyeballs. It's odd. And it's exciting.
Penalty.
Okay.
All right. Hit the space bar.
3 penalties. So my eyes malfunctioned about 3 times.
Not bad.
So
10's good.
really,
Yeah, you know, we like to get over 2,000 after your second try. So do it again. Let's see if you can do 2,000 this time.
Oh, the pressure's on. Let's see
Come
if
on,
let's see if my eyes can do this.
2,080.
Yes. Over 2,000, I really upped my score, and I used my eyeballs. My eyes feel like they're a lot stronger now. Yeah, they worked out.
Well done, well done.
Cool. So what's going on here? How are we able to do this?
Okay, so you can see the 3 red dots down there, the illuminated things, and those are the cameras that are looking at your eyes. And so when you calibrate, it's triangulating, seeing where you're going to be looking at. So it's pretty cool technology. We kind of see people picking it up for a couple of reasons. Because one is like some of the bigger professional teams, they see it as a way to help coach other people, right? Because if I can see where you're looking, which is part of the feature set of this, then you get a better sense of the strategy involved. Or if I'm your coach and I see where you're looking and you're not looking where I want you to look, I can say, no, it's over to the left more, it's down further, right? Look at the map, look over at it's time to switch your shield, stuff like that. Let's play another game. Okay, look back at the machine, it's dimmed out.
Oh.
It woke up just because you looked at it. So you can look at your machine and sign in.
Wow.
Right.
That's really
So
cool.
passwords are important, but they're a pain in the neck. But your eyes can sign you in.
Huh. That's amazing. This
Right.
is exciting, fun stuff.
It really is fun, huh?
Yeah, absolutely, it's fun.
That's the whole idea.
Well, good. I appreciate it
No,
because, because I like to do stuff that's fun. So I
Exactly.
appreciate that you guys are
So
doing
this is available on Newegg.com. We're still exclusive, the only place that you can buy it right now. But if you're looking for anything in the computer industry, Newegg's the place to go.
Hey, it's Casey Okupi with the Northwest Comic Show at Wizard World Portland. I'm here with Drew and Todd, and we're talking about Nomad. So, Drew, can you tell me a little about Nomad?
Yeah, Nomad is an all-ages fantasy adventure graphic novel that we make here in Portland, Oregon. And it deals with a champion who protects his planet from alien invaders.
Okay, awesome. Now, how are you involved with Nomad, Todd?
I'm the artist.
Cool, okay. So, you drew all these images here that we see in the book.
Everything except the cover. Well, the cover is by Chris Falcone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
Cool.
is great.
So,
I really like it.
yeah. Now, what inspired Nomad?
Nomad is based on a short script I wrote in 2004, and it's just a world we've built since 2011 when we started the graphic novel. And I think it's just my tribute to my love of 80s cartoons and Stephen King novels and all the things that I enjoyed growing up reading.
Awesome. So, like, He-Man, mixed with Stephen King or something? Is that?
It's not really a horror story, but there is a lot of He-Man and 80s cartoon influence in there.
That is super awesome. 80s cartoons. We all love 80s cartoons. 1984. That was like the best time for 80s cartoons. So I'm super excited. What medium is this? What do you use to do this?
That's marker. So it's not only black and white marker, but it's gray tone marker with it's called a pit pen. I'll probably switch to a better marker for the next book. It's kind of experimenting on my part still.
Cool, okay, so getting the feel for it, but it looks spectacular right now. It really does. Yeah, where do we pick up Nomad if we're not happening to be at Wizard World immediately? How do we get that?
Nomad is on a website called ComicsFix, FIX.com, where you can read it digitally. You can contact me at nomad.net, which is our website, and I'm going to try to get it into local retail, and I'm going to try to get it distributed. That's a challenge. But in the meantime, we just sell it at conventions.
Okay, cool. Well, it's been a pleasure to meet with you two gentlemen, and thank you very much. Thanks. Oh, no. Okay, so there's gonna be a sequel.
Yeah. Can you tell the name of it or?
What's the name?
We're gonna do. This is Nomad City of Empty Towers, and the sequel book is Nomad Cave of Broken Tombs. And we're also gonna try to put together a short cartoon, maybe 5 to 2.5 minutes of a moving image that we can share with consumers to get more people excited about the content and to demonstrate growth and really show what's possible with this story.
Sure. You think it's gonna be like a motion action comic type thing, or?
I'm not entirely sure how we're gonna do it, but yeah, whatever.
Know a little bit about that, so yeah.
Okay, so you might move towards because the motion action comic thing is getting like used a lot, like in the Kickstarter promo videos and a lot of stuff. Yeah, it's really yeah.
I want to make this look a little bit more like the beginning of Silverhawks.
Ooh, that sounds fun. All right, so really like pop in like opening cartoon, 80s style.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is I know here at Wizard World, there's a lot of people that worked in 80s cartoon cells and different things like that right here, right now. So, cool. Well, that's really exciting. All right.
Can I just tell you?
Oh, yeah.
Quick? Yeah. I mean, I actually do believe that of all the great art mediums, a timeless, ageless cartoon that can live forever was created in our childhood in the 80s, and I believe. He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe. I believe that these.
You just said like the main, most just prominent, everyone. Yeah.
I believe that these stories will exist for 1,000 years, just like we still talk about the Greek tales or we still talk about Shakespeare plays. And I believe that many stories of our generation will go and those will stay. And that's why it's important to keep contributing to that medium, because that's just how powerful good cartoons are.
You're right. The powerful, good cartoons, the ones you mentioned, those have been around for over 30 years now, and they're still prominent. They really have. They've been around for over those specific ones. And that's because they're so amazing. These 2D, like, it's this weird connection, yeah.
Whether you're He-Man and you are trying to protect Castle Grayskull from Skeletor, or whether you're Optimus Prime and you want to defy Megatron, I mean, that battle can go on forever and it can be retold forever, and it's timeless and it's an ageless allegory for our own struggle as people in a safe way to explore the problems that we go through, and in an entertaining way, in an engaging way, in a way that doesn't challenge or threaten people, in a way that includes everybody. And just like we still focus on Shakespeare, I think we'll still be focusing on these stories for 1,000 years.
Yeah, I really like how you put that. It's a safe way to get your own messages across, your own metaphors for like a reflection of society right now. So yeah, okay, well, thank you guys. It's been pretty insightful in addition to a good interview. So thank you very much. Oh, sure. Hey, we're back with Darin Thompson. Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
That was spectacular. Let's give it up again for Darin Thompson. Your comedy is fun and awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank us both, really. Thank both of us. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, so now you're a Mormon, is that right?
Wow, yes I am.
Yeah.
How did you notice? How did you know?
That was in Google. That was Wikipedia. I was looking you up for research.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what it said.
I didn't have like a white shirt and tie on or anything.
I know, I didn't feel
You're
threatened.
a Mormon. I'm like, whoa. How did you know that? Is
didn't-
it the glow?
It is. You create your own force field of...
Thank you. It's a Mormon force. Yeah,
Exactly.
Thank you. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah. And you do a lot of shows that utilize no profanity, basically, right?
Right.
Well, good.
Unless somebody reads too deeply into what I've said, and then they can go wherever they want. But no.
Okay.
Intentionally, no profanity.
That's
But-
cool.
but,
you give people the freedom
to just take it where they want. But
Yeah.
I didn't mean that. Why are you guys laughing? I didn't. Anyways.
I don't know. I appreciate that we can conceptualize something worse than what you say. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to know where does a lot of your inspiration come from for the type of comedy that you're doing?
I'd have to say, growing up in Dallas, Oregon, living out in the woods, just.
All right.
I didn't have a lot of entertainment, so you kind of, as a kid, once these older siblings went off to school, I had to entertain myself.
Sure.
And so, yeah.
Okay. So you lived in the woods of Dallas, and so you would kind of find the humor in a lot of things.
Right, right. And
Okay.
humor and, things like Sasquatch and things like that, things that are common to that area.
Yes. But we haven't captured Sasquatch yet, but we know he's out there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
We're on to it.
Us from Oregon, we know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, did things like religion and growing up, like your background, does this kind of thing factor in?
Yeah, I mean, just because you think growing up what's happening to you is what everybody does worldwide, and then you kind of start making friends outside of, people that live in your own house.
Sure.
And you start realizing, wow, people do things different. Like,
That's to say the
yeah,
least. Sure.
Yeah, people. And yeah, so there's a lot of humor in that. And there's humor in being a middle child, as you're trying to be heard. And you realize maybe one of the only ways to be heard is to be funny, and so that can happen.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's a lot to think about. So, you were a middle child,
Too. Yes.
and so you would utilize comedy as a way to kind of like entertain the people around you to get attention, being a middle child.
Right.
That's interesting. Cool.
You
Okay.
you can entertain your own siblings, get attention from them. You could do silly things, when you're real young, like put a garbage can over your head and run into walls to entertain the older people.
All right.
They like that stuff for some reason. So I'm like, I'd hear laughter, I'd just keep going.
All right.
Why would you stop?
Yeah, that'd be all. That explains a lot, right? Cool. Okay. Well, what made you decide to, in your adult life, or like, where was the transition from just being a funny child to, let's do stand-up comedy?
Oh, it's kind of been a journey getting here. When I was in college, I had a roommate named Sam. We'd stay up really late and just start saying random things. We started saying, hey, let's write this stuff down, and we would. And then we kind of got a book of just funny thoughts that happen at 3 a.m. Of course, after you get a good night's sleep and you wake up the next day and you look at everything that was funny last night, I was
Sure.
saying like, that wasn't funny.
Yeah.
But a few things came out, and so we eventually got on a radio station doing a segment called Deep Thoughts from the Man's Throne, and we do a joke every morning on that, and so that kind of got me writing. But when you're doing radio, you don't know if you're funny. They say you have an audience of 10,000 people, yet I don't get to hear if people are laughing in their cars. My hearing's not that good, so. So then I thought I'd like to take it to a stage and see if it's funny, and yeah, so I did that and got some laughs, and some of the things didn't get laughs. I'm like, wow, this is really eye-opening. All
Nice.
this time. I thought I was getting laughs on everything. No, probably
You're
not.
like, this one's a humdinger. I'm going to hit
No,
it out of the park.
Yeah.
Then you find out
nothing. Just I'm like, what?
crickets.
I laughed when I wrote that. How can you guys? So.
Yeah, and then other times.
But
yeah.
no, it's been fun. Salem has a really good comedy scene going now, and so there's a lot of opportunity. Get to hang out with other stellar comedians and just have fun.
Where?
Capital City Theater.
Capital City Theater.
Yeah, it's the place.
Okay.
It's a good place.
Yeah, okay. So Capital City Theater, that's where we can see you.
Yeah, I'm there doing open mic every Tuesday night and occasional shows. I do a once a month clean comedy show that's for everybody. It's for the family, and
Okay.
yeah.
So,
it's really good.
like mom, dad, kids,
Sure.
brothers, sisters.
Right?
A show that everyone can go enjoy.
Yes.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, it's been
Now,
a lot of fun.
is there any online social media outlets to, contact you for comedy?
I am on Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, and get ready to hear this. As of today, I have 123 friends.
Wow.
I know. Before Facebook, I had 6. I'm like, now look at
That
me.
you know of. We can only take for granted that they're real friendships, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, when I had those 6, if I wanted to get a like, I'd have to call them each up and say, hey, I went to Lincoln City Beach today.
Nice.
Do you like me? It was it was awkward, but I'd get 2 likes. The other 4 would be like, you're weird.
You're weird.
Like, is that a like? No. Okay.
So a weird squiggly line mouth. Yeah.
So I mean, Facebook has made things a lot easier.
You feel more validated now.
Well, I got a lot more friends, so of course, 123. Oh my gosh. Anyway,
Okay. Well, I think you're worth it, and
thank you.
you're worth knowing and friending and talking to.
So yeah, if somebody looks
Yeah.
me up on Facebook and says, "Hey, I want to be your friend," I'll probably hit yes.
Yeah.
Just saying. I
maybe.
could use number 124.
All right. Well, Darin Thompson's on Facebook if you want to talk to him about comedy. Great. Thank you for coming on the show.
Oh, you're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you for having me, Casey.
Thanks.
The Northwest Comic Show.
What?
The Northwest Comic Show. The greatest thing ever.
The Northwest Comic Show is brought to you by the Northwest Comic Fest. This year with Brian Posehn. To find out how you can go to northwestcomicfest.com.